There's power in a drum beat on a hill above the sea. Power in the voice of a supporter. But it all amounts to nothing. Together we don't sing. There's power when we're North OC. SD loyal forever. Someday in North County. Desert two islands. Get loud now, you and me. All our voices strong together as we cheer on our team. There is power when we're North OC.
I was really excited about that. I got there early. I know that because I remember standing outside of Bay City as everybody was kind of pulling up, walking up, very casually interested in socializing, seeing who showed up, expecting there to be a pretty good representation of people that were invested in this club already. Whether they were going to be invested in the supporters group or not was interesting, and kind of hearing from Drew how many people had asked for time. And seeing people walk up and being nervous or having anticipation about, should I say this, or I don't know if I'm going to or not. I remember you and I having a conversation about the fair weather fans, and I remember thinking that was a pretty good idea. And I was like, yeah, I'm on board with that one. And then Travis walked up dressed really, to the nines, and I went, oh, that's going to be that'll be serious, okay.
For the name thing, we were really confused on like how to really go about it, right? We'd been talking a lot internal just between the four of us, like what do we want to do?
How do we bring at least some form of tennis courts, socialism or democracy?
And how are we going to pick a name really fast, something that a lot of people will like, that are already invested in this? That's an important part of supporters group is going to be your name. I mean, you have some great names of supporters groups around the country that are like so clever, and they define their city.
You come up with a lame name and nobody wants to be part of your group.
We needed something to rally around. Like we needed a name, we needed an identity. At the time, our Twitter handle was like unnamed supporters group because we didn't have a name. We didn't know what to call ourselves. But we needed to start building a fan base, and for the club to start saying, well, instead of talk to Daryl and Steve, they can say this is their Twitter handle and this is their, here's their website, and this is like the name is like who you are, and everything grows from there, right? So we needed that to start building something.
Anybody could walk in, and we had the room packed to the gills, and honestly the amount of support and people we had showing up was more than we could have hoped for, and so in that sense it was exactly what we wanted.
And Drew did a phenomenal job. He was on the mic for that event, and he facilitated that event and did all the technical stuff with the projector and the screen. And
we have 12 submissions so far that we've received online formally for names. So those names are locked away. They're going to get 5 minutes of speaking time. What we're going to do first, though, is if you have not submitted a name formally, but would like to, maybe you walked in and said, oh, I just wanted to walk in and throw out a name. Totally cool. What we're going to do is, as you guys get beers here, we're going to have to come over to the table over here and check in. If you have
I think that our main thing was, okay, we have a couple of names between us, but this should not be us deciding this. This is about everybody's input, and let's get everybody involved.
Get a beer, and then we're going to kind of come together, and that's when we'll officially get this kicked off and go. And thank you so much for being prompt. And we're going to get this rolling here in just a minute. Thanks.
We were so surprised by how many people actually cared about what this thing was going to be called.
It's really impressive to see some of the people put the amount of effort and thought into their own ideas.
Some of the names are great, man. There's a few that stick out. I know the Fairweather fans was a good one as well. The main one that sticks out that didn't make it is probably the Warren.
So I heard that there was going to be an opportunity to name the supporters group, and not knowing the name of the club yet, not knowing the colors, not knowing anything, I was struggling. I wrote down probably 100 different ideas, and they were all trash. So I went back and picked the least trash one, and my thought process on it was, we want to have a group that's, tight but welcoming, and be able to have, pride in what we are, and kind of keep it cool and underground. So I was thinking, we could be the Rabbits, and then Rabbit and Rabbit work together. And then I'm like, oh, Rabbits live in a Warren Smith. This actually works for me. I could do this. So Rabbits densely populated, tight community, colony. They're a diverse group at that. So.
Yeah, and they thump.
Yeah. And they hop.
The presentation for that one, man, Travis and Nicole were so prepared for this thing. It was ridiculous, and I actually at some point thought this one's gonna win because it was funny, but it was still really cool. And then they had gear,
little fireworks and balloons, and made those little clappers out of carrots, and we thought we kind of got this in the bag.
And Travis did an awesome job. You know, his presentation was absolutely incredible. Him and his sister just absolutely hit that out of the park.
At that point, I'm like, I don't know if I really like this name, but, you know, we're this far down. If enough people like it, you know, we can make it work.
And that idea of the Warren was fantastic. I really loved the energy and the enthusiasm. I think, to be honest, I think it just got barely nipped out by the professional presentation that Steve put in there.
I've been involved in the local soccer community for a long time now. Ella's in the past couple chances to get a professional outdoor team here, so here's our chance, and here's my presentation. I'll let the name speak for itself.
There's something within the human condition that pulls us, not just physically, but emotionally, to a place we call home.
But Steve just kind of blew everyone out of the water with this presentation that was really kind of touching, and it really hit you where you felt like you needed to be hit.
Week in, week out, and have earned their title as a local.
I think it got people really excited about it. You'll see. I don't know if you caught footage of the reactions of that. Oh my goodness. I was in the background. I was in the back just kind of watching everybody watch it. And I got chills. Like everybody goes, woo! The moment that I say the locals for the first time, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. I knew we had something then.
Even if they had other ideas, everybody was like, oh, that's really good.
From there, we took a vote. You know, we gave everybody a piece of paper and said, you know, it's kind of a trust thing. Just please vote once. You know, please don't, you know, influence other people's votes. And then come give it to us, and we'll count them up.
First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. There was 52 of you that voted. We have our top 3. We did not think we were going to have these many people that actually care. So thank you guys for caring and for being here. You guys that are here right now are the beginning of something that is going to be amazing. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of it. And also, please get really involved because it's really, really important. There's been a few of us behind the scenes kind of getting it going, but we need more of you. And so clearly, we have a lot. So back to Drew.
The 4 of us, Daryl, myself, Jerry, and Steve have helped kind of put this group together so far. Again, we're here just to kind of serve you guys and put this together as a group. And whoever we elect as a team is who we're going to push forward. So again, for everybody presented today, let's give a round of applause for everybody presented. So try to keep it fair with the Warren, the locals, and the Alta. So now what we will do, we have Steve working away in his magic workshop at the table back there, making more papers for us.
Got into the final 3, and I was at that point going, I like the other 2 a little bit better, but we'll see how it goes.
Are we passing out like class? Are we? Oh yeah.
Oh, those are empty?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Warren. So out of the 50 or so votes cast, we had 30 for one name. We had 14 for one. We had 10 for another. The name we got 30 was the locals. Right? So,
They do the vote, and the locals won, and I just went, yes, thank you.
what we're going to do though, the locals is currently the name that is up for essentially adoption.
And so I did the voiceover for the video, and I'm pretty sure that's why we won, man. Pretty sure that's why the locals won. Don't tell Steve that, but I'm pretty sure it was my voice.
All right, so this is how, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how things will be typically voted on from now on, once we have leadership. Somebody will bring an idea, it will be discussed, and then once it's discussed, okay, we need to take a vote, like we just did. We're all here, we're all deciding on this name. Somebody will say what I'm about to say, which is, I bring to all of you guys to have our name be the locals. Would anybody like to second that? And then I heard somebody say second it? All right. Can I get an eye from those that say yay for locals? Raise your hand. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the locals.
Now we officially have a name. We had 18 different ideas. I mean, 18 or 19, we had a ton of different ideas, and certain podcasts have been spawned out of other ideas that didn't actually get chosen.
The outpour of not just names, but support of people saying, hey, this is super cool that you're doing it.
And honestly, locals wasn't my first choice. I actually liked a couple other names, but it is something where once you see people coalesce around it, and you saw Steve's vision for kind of how it brought in all different corners of the county, I think it became something where most people kind of felt like this is something we can rally around, and we can make this a union, and out of that union, we can spawn these other ideas, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I was passionate about the locals name, obviously. No matter who you are or where you're from, you can be a local to this club.
I just remember like a sense of relief when it was over with.
It was one of those moments, I think, where we said, man, this thing could actually be pretty big. We might actually be able to pull this off in 7 months.
That event at Coronado was amazing to kind of kick things off. Those first supporters meetings were like, wow, this is really happening, here we go. The bylaws were like, wow, this is kind of formal, and then the name was like, wow, you know, oh my gosh, here we go, here we have a name. We didn't have a brand yet, we didn't have a crest yet, we didn't have any of that yet, but we had a name and we had something to start building from.